As you have likely heard, the Trump administration has caused quite a stir in the federal sector in the past few weeks. In a major development affecting thousands of federal employees, two federal judges have weighed in on controversial moves by the Trump administration to downsize the federal workforce. Meanwhile, many agencies have already begun downsizing. I'm Tom Spiggle with the Spiggle Law Firm. We help people who have been fired or afraid they might be in Maryland, Virginia, and Washington, D.C., and we help federal employees nationwide. We've got a lot to cover, so let's break down the latest updates. Federal unions sued to challenge the Office of Personnel Management's fork in the road deal, a forced choice for federal workers: resign now and remain on the payroll until September 30 or risk potential layoffs. Federal Judge George O'Toole initially paused the February 6th deadline, but ultimately allowed the administration's plan to move forward on February 12, ruling that the unions lacked legal standing to block the initiative. Around 75,000 employees, or about 2% of the federal workforce, ultimately accepted the offer. Judge O'Toole's decision did not address the legality of the program itself, focusing instead on the union's inability to have standing to sue. This is true of many of the claims that have been brought by plaintiffs. Standing is an issue where you have to prove actual harm as a plaintiff, and because what DOGE and Musk have been doing is little understood, sometimes it can be difficult to show that harm. If they can find a plaintiff who can demonstrate actual harm, they could re-bring the case. Meanwhile, in a separate case on Tuesday, February 17, Judge Tanya Chutkan decided not to temporarily block Elon Musk and his Department of Governmental Efficiency, also known as DOGE, from accessing data systems across multiple federal agencies. This ruling from the U.S. District Court Judge Tanya Chutkan is an early setback for a group of Democratic state attorneys general who were trying to stop Musk and his team from overhauling the federal workforce. This is again another example of where it's difficult right now for plaintiffs to show harm because what Musk and his team are doing behind the scenes is very diffuse and in large part unknown, and so harm may not become clear for many weeks. So plaintiffs will continue to struggle with this issue until they can show people who have been actually harmed, which eventually will happen. The cases keep piling up. In another lawsuit, U.S. District Judge Carl Nichols delivered a blow to the Trump administration's efforts to dismantle the U.S. Agency for International Development, or USAID. Nichols temporarily blocked the administration's plan to place thousands of USAID employees on leave, ordering their reinstatement by February 10th. The administration's move would have forced thousands of overseas staffers to return home within 30 days at government expense. However, Judge Nichols' order halts this action for now. Elon Musk, a key Trump ally, has played a significant role in this push, even declaring on social media that USAID is a criminal organization and stating time for it to die. USAID, of course, is not a criminal organization. This is just a continued effort by Musk and those who work with him to mischaracterize what federal agencies are doing to justify the cuts. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has also come under fire. Trump's newly appointed CFPB chief instructed all 2,000 employees to cease work immediately, shutting down operations entirely. Musk's Department of Governmental Efficiency has since gained full access to the agency's computer systems, halting oversight of consumer financial companies. What did Elon Musk have to say about the situation? Quote, CFPB, RIP, end quote. The administration's broader plan to cut down the federal workforce is becoming clear. According to officials, widespread layoffs, termed reductions in force, are imminent. Many have taken to D.C. to protest the changes. Additionally, thousands of probationary federal employees have already been dismissed. A probationary employee refers to those who have been employed by the government for less than a year, and in some cases less than 2. It can also include employees who have been recently promoted. While some agencies like OPM cited the reason for the firings were because the employees failed to accept the deferred resignation package, others were told the reason was because of poor performance, despite actually having strong performance reviews. Agencies like OPM, the Department of Education, the VA, and the National Park Service have all participated in these terminations, and several have been impacted. Not all of the terminations have been permanent, however. On the afternoon of February 13th, a number of probationary employees at the National Nuclear Security Administration, NNSA, were suddenly fired, according to a source in the Energy Department. The NNSA oversees the country's nuclear weapons stockpile, among other duties. 3 U.S. officials told the Associated Press that up to 350 employees lost their jobs without warning. Some even had their email access cut off before they were technically notified. When they showed up to work Friday morning, they found themselves locked out of their offices. The officials spoke anonymously, fearing retaliation. Daryl Kimball, executive director of the Arms Control Association, criticized Elon Musk's Department of Governmental Efficiency, saying that they don't seem to realize this is really the Department of Nuclear Weapons more than just the Department of Energy. By the very next night, February 14, the agency's acting director, Teresa Robbins, reversed most of the terminations. In a memo obtained by the AP, she announced that all but 28 employees would be reinstated immediately. Quote, "This letter serves as the formal notification that the termination decision issued to you on February 13, 2025 has been rescinded effective immediately." End quote. This is just another illustration of DOGE's sloppy efforts to cut government expenditures. Rather than going through the constitutional process and have Congress weigh in and debate these issues such that the cuts could be made in a more nuanced and in a way that doesn't affect national security concerns, Musk's DOGE has instead taken a blunt axe to federal workforce, which is going to cause harm not only to federal agencies, but to American people that they serve. As these legal battles continue, thousands of federal workers face uncertainty about their future employment. We'll keep you updated as the story develops. For now, you can join the Spiggle Law Firm's free online community with questions, concerns, or comments for our employment lawyers or other members. Join at spigglelaw.com/community. We also have a new Federal Employee Hotline, 202-968-2248. We'll also have the link and the number in the description. Good luck out there.